To all the people out there that have fat minds, the Monday restarters, the midnight bingers, the food noise calorie counting obsessors, the binge dieters, the emotional eaters. I already said binge something, right? This episode is specifically for you. And you're going to find this really helpful because I'm going to walk you through every single thing that I used to think when I was fat and what I think now. So by the end of this episode, my intention is that you're going to have made some progress on transforming your fat mind and actually becoming the healthy person that it is you really deserve and really want to be. If it's your first time on the show, welcome. My name is Nick Geoppo. I lost 110 pounds in 2019 after a lifetime of losing and gaining 50 plus pounds every single year on every single diet you've ever heard of. In 2019, I built what I call the common sense diet. Led to me losing all the weight and actually putting obesity behind me for good. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm excited for this solo episode because the last few episodes have been with a lot of guests and a lot of really heavy topics, especially around coaching my mom. And this one's going to be a little bit lighter. So first one, medication. When I was fat as fuck, I felt like medication was just a part of life. And that was mostly because I was popping Tums like candy, like 6. I would get to 6 a day. And that is the cap on the back of a Tums thing. It says not to eat more than 6 in one day. I would sometimes eat 6 with my breakfast. I got to the point where I would get the Skittles looking Tums and start eating those because I just liked the way they tasted and I didn't feel guilty afterwards because they were helping me with my heartburn instead of giving me heartburn the way actual Skittles would be. Other medication, heartburn medication. I was on anti-anxiety medication at one point, Xanax. I just felt like people were just on medication. Like medication is a part of life. Here I am now in 2025. I'm not on any medication. I actually stopped taking all of my medication on my weight loss journey and haven't really been on any medication except for really, really short spurts. It's this whole Eastern versus Western medicine philosophy. I always felt like the doctors had the solution. And what I learned was that the solution is actually already inside of me and that everything that I need is actually just found in the journey of addressing the things that led to me being fat in the first place and not being on any medication and actually looking at food as medicine, fruit as medicine, meat as medicine, potatoes, rice, dairy products, vegetables sometimes as medicine. I realized that all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients for my brain, my soul, my energy are actually found in those things, plus sunlight, plus walking every day, plus staying hydrated. And I just built a life for myself where those are things that I naturally do now. So before, I liked medication because when I was stressed out, I would eat more and then I would have more heartburn from eating like shit. So I didn't have to deal with that when I was popping Tums and taking heartburn medication. And same thing with anxiety, right? Now, here I am 6 years later, after putting myself through the common sense diet, I actually default to healthy things. So when I'm stressed, it doesn't really actually change my behavior. When I'm pissed off or sad or whatever, the same way that I still brush my teeth, even when I'm sad and depressed and shit's hitting the fan, I still brush my teeth morning and night the same way that you do. I now have that same habit with food and movement. I still walk, I still eat healthy foods unless there's a specific celebration or a reason not to. So in terms of medication, I used to think that it was something I'd be on forever, just a part of life. Now I think that I would only use it as a tool on an as needed basis, but have not had any reasons to need it after actually healing these parts of myself and my body. Calories and macros. Okay, so when I was fat, I thought, oh my gosh, you guys are going to relate to this so much. I was like, what is my ratio of carbs, fats, and proteins? How many calories am I eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Timed eating. Oh, just low calorie, high protein, everything. Like, here's the reality. Eating low calorie, high protein foods sucks. Eating low calorie alternatives suck because they feel like diet foods. The intention is not to eat diet food. So when I was really fat, I knew how many calories were in a Big Mac at McDonald's. I'd be like, if I'm going to McDonald's and I'm on a diet, I can get my small fry instead of my large fry because it's less calories. It was calories, calories, calories. What I actually realized is that the quality of your food matters more, the same, if not more, for weight loss than the calories do. Now, yes, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. I don't even need to say that. You know that, right? You've lost weight before the same way I did my whole life and just kept gaining it back because we focus so much on the calories. The reality is that when you eat a deep calorie deficit, meaning you're eating a lot less than you should, and you're also eating a lot of processed food, so you're eating junk food in a calorie deficit, meaning 1,200 calories of protein shakes, protein bars, overnight oats, cereal, high protein this and then going and getting, your low calorie, high protein ice cream. It's an extreme example, but a lot of people are doing that, right? With your milkshake, with protein powder in it or whatever. The reality is your cravings are going to be through the roof. And the reasons why your cravings are through the roof is because you're not eating foods that humans have been eating forever that actually satiate you. Not just the volume, but the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients that are found in whole and natural foods are the way to work through cravings. So all of you that are out here that are like carb free to lose weight, keto, like every single person has tried that, right? The reason that your cravings are through the roof, it's not because you're not disciplined enough to make it through the ketosis transformational period of the first 8 days. It's because the way to not have cravings is to actually eat fruit. And like keto people don't want to tell you that, but keto people also aren't the best to be around because they can't socialize with you and do anything that involves eating any sort of normal human food unless it's just meat. And it's like, is that really what you want for your life? And you know how you can tell if somebody's keto? Yeah, they will tell you that they're keto. That says enough about the idea of living in ultra restriction. People say there's things like foods are not inherently good or bad. That is not the truth. There are foods that are inherently good and inherently bad for you. The way to know what's good for you and what's bad for you is to ask yourself, how do you feel after you eat something? So if you eat something and then you feel lethargic, like shit and bloated afterwards, that food is not good for you. Doesn't mean you can't ever eat it. It's like alcohol. Everybody agrees alcohol is bad for you. Humans poison themselves with food and alcohol for the sake of connection and culture with other people. Culture and connection with other people. That's a part of being a human. That's why we eat birthday cake on our birthdays instead of eating fruit and meat on our birthdays, right? So that's just a part of being a human being. I'm not saying that you can't ever eat unhealthy foods. I'm saying you need to have a reason for eating the unhealthy foods. And the answer to everything you're looking for is in the question of asking yourself, why am I eating this food? It's actually in asking yourself, why am I insert any single thing that you're doing, including waking up at a certain time, doing this job, having this family, on this date. Actually, the way to have a life that you actually give a shit about and look back on and feel pride in is to just ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is the intention? And to make sure that the intention and the reason is aligned with what you actually want for your own life. Food is the way to learn that. If you're fat, it's actually the best tool to learn these life lessons, right? Weight loss is an inside-out game. Calories matter, macros do not matter. You need to be eating enough protein. Your fats and your carbs ratio do not literally matter at all. Might they make a 1 or 2% difference in your insert, hormonal health thing here that you and I don't really even know enough about? Maybe, but those are not the things that led to you being fat. You're majoring in the minors. You're focusing on things like food dyes and the amount of salt you're eating and the amount of the ratio of fats to carbs. And then you are quitting your diet on Thursday and then restarting on Monday, never actually addressing the root of the issue. Take a breath if that's you. Probably everyone. Been there literally my whole life. Zoom out from what's actually happening and look at the patterns. Next thing, the mirror. When I was fat, what did I think of the mirror? Well, I would sleep with my shirt off because I would sweat so much through my bed, like every single night. Oh my God, I can smell that bed sheet. That's disgusting. I would sweat through my sheets and my pillow every night. Eventually, I just started sleeping naked, which I was not comfortable with. So when I would wake up to brush my teeth in the morning, I would put clothes on just to brush my teeth because I didn't want to look at myself. So that's the lens that I'm speaking through, right? This messaging isn't for the people that are like, oh yeah, losing 23 pounds would be great. It's for the people that are like, I can't even fucking look at myself anymore. I feel disgust. And that was my whole life, right? That was even my life in some ways after I had lost weight. We'll talk about that in 1 second. How I feel about the mirror now is I have a mirror in my bedroom now. And I literally just don't wear clothes. I put clothing on just to film this podcast. And I'm quite extreme on the other way now in a way that some people think is weird. That's okay. It's like I spent so long hating myself. I'll walk around naked all day in any situation where I'm not out in public. And it's taken me a long time to get there and a lot of practice, but that's just the reality that I live in now. What I learned about the mirror was that your ability to actually look at yourself and hold whatever emotion comes up, right? So when you look at yourself in the mirror, you feel negativity, self-hatred. I can't believe that things ever got this bad. Oh my God, I hate myself. Your ability to actually hold the emotion, right? Meaning look at yourself in the eye and count 60 before you look away. You start crying, you start feeling guilt. Yeah, fuck this. I'm just going to go back to scrolling, eating, watching Netflix, whatever, right? Your ability to actually sit there and hold the emotion instead of running away from it is directly tied to your relationship with food. So the way to practice having a better relationship with food is to practice looking at yourself in the mirror, because the same part of you that wants to leave the mirror is the same part of you that goes and eats your emotions after a stressful day at work on the way home and gets a Big Mac. Like that is actually the exact same muscle. So the way to practice it, get up in the mirror, start with your eyes, do it once a day for 7 days, and then take your shirt off and let your man boobs or your saggy woman boobs or whatever hang out and look at yourself. And then do it butt-ass naked, and to get to the point where you can actually touch and rub your own body. And it's not about finding comfort, it's about finding acceptance. The mirror is the most powerful tool you have for the inside-out battle that is addressing the emotions that led to you using food like a drug in the first place. And that leads me to this quote that I used to always say when I was fat. I would say, I know how to lose weight. Oh, you guys are going to love this. I know how to lose weight. I just don't know how to keep the weight off. Let me say that again. I know how to lose weight. I just don't know how to keep the weight off. Gosh, even saying that triggers me, because I mean, I might as well have had that be the wallpaper on my phone for years. And the reality is that I've learned the hard way, and 6 years reflection now since I had my last day one and lost the weight forever, is that the way you lose weight dictates the sustainability of your results. So if you cannot do it for life, do not do it to lose weight. So I'm going to say that all one more time. I know how to lose weight. I just don't know how to keep the weight off. My plan is to lose weight as fast as I can and then figure out how to keep it off once I get there. The way you lose weight dictates how sustainable your results are. If you cannot do it for life, do not do it to lose weight. Nobody has ever starved themselves to weight loss and then figured out how to keep it off after they got there. I've never heard of that one time. If they did it in ultra restriction that they're still living in. So this does not account for the keto influencers. This does not account for the people that are still alternate day eating and still doing these crazy juice teas and shit like that. I'm talking about the people that actually put obesity behind them, not the people that are still having their top buns at In-N-Out or any burger place because they're trying to cut down on the carbs, even though they're not fat anymore, or still ordering double chicken Caesar salads with half dressing because that's their favorite weight loss food, even though they're not fat anymore. I'm talking about not those people that like have fat minds in skinny bodies. That's a lot of people that have lost weight. I'm talking about people that have actually healed and done the internal work to heal their own mind and their own relationship to food. Every single one of those people know that the way you lose weight dictates how sustainable your results are. And if you can't do it for life, don't do it to lose weight. What do I do for life then? You can do the common sense diet, and I'll walk you through literally step by step how to do it and what I did for myself. If you want to talk to me about it, you can click the link below in this podcast episode or in this YouTube video to speak with me directly, and I'd be happy to talk you through it. I used to feel like, next thing, everything, it's a really big one. Everything I am looking for is on the other side of hitting a number on the scale. Or let's say everything I'm looking for is on the other side of losing weight. So when I lose weight, I'll be happy. When I lose weight, I'll get the girl. When I lose weight, I'll make more money. When I lose weight, I'll go shopping for clothes, go on that vacation, whatever the thing is, right? Let's quit my diet. Been there. And it's not that these things aren't true, but a deeper truth is actually that everything I was looking for, which deeper than all of those things was actually self-respect, self-love, self-confidence, and money, freedom. It's actually freedom. I mean, it's really, if you can boil weight loss, if you can boil sustainable weight loss down to one word, it's freedom. If you could take one thing that fat people truly desire, it's freedom. It's freedom from food. It's freedom from thinking about food, freedom from thinking about weight loss, freedom from the fucking obsession that has held you back from the person that your soul actually came here to be. And you really know it when you sit with the truth in that, though it's hard to hear. It's harder to say too, but that's the truth that I spoke to myself that led me being here. And you can practice that. The truth is that everything you're looking for is actually in the journey of becoming the person you need to be to keep the weight off. So you're going to know once you actually start losing weight the right way, you're going to feel sustainable about it, typically in the first like 3 to 9 weeks. It depends on how much unlearning you have to do, right? But in doing it the right way, in the first 3 to 8 or 9 weeks, you're going to go, oh, I'm actually already living at my goal weight right now. And the way that you do that is you write down, if I was skinny is the word everybody likes to use. So I use it because you relate to it. But what I really mean is if I was healthy, if I was at my goal weight and knew that I would keep the weight off because I already became a healthy person, what would I do and how would I live? What would I do for fun? Who would I spend time with? What kind of foods would I eat? How often would I work out? What would my hobbies be? And what you'll find is that your obesity is actually not as much in the way of living that lifestyle as you might think. And you keep thinking that you're going to lose weight to make all of these things happen. The piece that you're missing is you have it completely backwards. You actually have to make these things happen to become the person that keeps the weight off. So pause this, write down, if I was healthy/skinny, I would blank. And there is your roadmap to starting your last day whenever and your sustainable weight loss journey is to actually start doing that right now. Now, if it's like go hike Machu Picchu and you're 427 pounds, like that's obviously not going to happen. But talking about the day-to-day life, I wake up and I go on a 10-minute walk. I drink water in the morning. I spend time with people that I love. I do, what things do you not do? I don't scroll on social media all day. I don't watch Netflix. Like that is your sustainable weight loss plan. Start living like that person right now. And then there's no crazy transition of once I hit my weight loss goal, how do I keep it off? It's like you become kind of detached from the goal because you're actually already living that lifestyle and seeing the results on the scale, but you actually already have the results off of the scale. So once you get down there, you're just at your goal, and that same day, it doesn't change your behavior. You're just still living the healthy lifestyle that you wanted, and congratulations. Now the weight's gone forever. Sounds easy. And it's not that it's easy, it's that it's simple. It's difficultly simple. This is the most difficult thing you'll probably ever do in your life. It's the most emotionally and consciously and spiritually confronting journey you can possibly go on, because all of your shit will come up and you will have to face parts of yourself that you might not even be able to see right now, right? It's hard to even see these parts of yourself when you're drowning in lack of clarity and food noise and wishing that you weren't fat. It's like once you get more clarity, more mental space, if you spend 90 I think I probably exaggerate this number. I say I spent 99% of my time thinking about food and weight loss and wish that I was. It was probably like 70 to 80, you know? But if you're in that same range of hyper obsession, in the world where you put this fully behind you, that hyper obsession doesn't exist anymore. So now you have all of this mental space and mental clarity to start thinking about other things. And that comes way before you hit the number on the scale. It comes like 3 to 9 or 10 months, 3 to 9 or 10 weeks into doing it the right way. And that's when you actually see the real transformation. You're much closer to that than you might think. What did I think about loose skin? When I was fat, loose skin it wasn't my biggest fear ever. I know a lot of people are like deathly afraid of loose skin, almost to the point where we sometimes use it as an excuse to not take the action. Couple things. One, if you sometimes say, God, I want to lose weight, but the loose skin, I promise you right now that being healthy, a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy spirit with some loose skin is about 17 trillion times better than being fat with no loose skin. And that sounds like some tough love. That's the actual truth. So you got to be able to have the self-awareness to catch yourself when you say that kind of shit and then meet yourself with the truth. So when you say, God, the loose skin, I'm like dreading the loose skin. Pause, take a breath. I'm not dreading the loose skin as much as I'm dreading being fat. Boom. That's how you work through it. For me, even after losing weight, I still struggled with, I'm fortunate to not have a ton of loose skin, but you can absolutely tell that I was fat when I don't have a shirt on. And yeah, I had carried a lot of insecurities around that. And those insecurities, even after I lost weight 5 or 6 years ago, were perpetuated by the amount that I would talk about it. So I would get into partnership with a woman and just tell her about all of my insecurity. Oh yeah, my loose skin and my, I went through this. I would lead with the fact of explaining how I lost weight. And I would think that I would think that my loose skin would create a worry in the woman that I was with, because the story I was telling myself was she would probably think, well, how did you even get so fat in the first place? And, oh, well, it sounds like you've lost and gained weight a lot. How's this? I'm sure he'll just gain the weight back again. And the women did think that. And the women that I was dating at the time thought that because I thought it. They didn't think it because that was their own independent thought. They thought it because they could feel that coming off of me. And I was leading with this energy of anxiety and hyper explaining myself. And it took me probably 2 years after losing weight to really work through that. So it'd be probably 2021 was the first year where I'd completely worked through that insecurity. And the way that I did it was I made it my superpower. I made loose skin my superpower. Sounds cheesy? Hear me out. Instead of going, oh, yeah, yeah, explaining my stretch marks, I would just go straight into, I would not say anything. And if it ever came up, which of course it's going to come up, right? I would get to the point where I would say something like, and I'm saying the girlfriend, the girls that I was with, like I was out here dating a bunch of women. That's not what I mean, right? But anytime that anyone would say anything about my loose skin, I would come at them with an energy that was so true when I practice this. And it was, this loose skin represents all of the shit that I went through and that I put myself through my entire life, and it consumed me. Consumed me to the point where I like really didn't even give a fuck about myself anymore. And that's a really dark place to be. Now for me, it's a representation and a reminder of how capable I am of showing up for myself. And my commitment to you is to show up for you in our relationship or our friendship or our insert whatever it is here, the same way that I show up for myself every single day, even when I don't feel like it. And that's how you take your insecurity and you use it to create safety for your woman in this case, or for your job, or for, whatever way that it might come up. Flip your insecurity into your biggest strength. It's not about just practicing. It's like once you do it one time, you're going to see the look on somebody else's face and go, that's who I am. That's actually who I am. I just couldn't feel that through my own insecurity. But one time I said that, then I actually meant it. I said it from my balls or my heart. If I'm a woman, if you're a woman, I said it from my heart. And I felt that is actually me. That's the part of myself that I want to tap more into. And that's how you turn loose skin into the best thing that ever happened to you. And obesity into the best thing that ever happened to you. If you're fat, again, everything, like obesity really is a golden ticket. Obesity really is the golden ticket because a bunch of people are running around life right now, not really knowing what they should be doing and trying different things and trying to figure out what they should be doing. And do I take this job or that job? Do I date this girl or marry that guy? Do I have 2 kids or 3 kids or no kids? And I don't know. Should I drink alcohol once a week because I feel better when I'm with my friends and socializing, or should I stop drinking? Like, those are the conversations that other people are having, right? Me and you, the path forward is really, really damn clear. Really damn clear, right? Everything that you're looking for, again, is actually in the journey. So the path forward is very clear, and you're very, very fortunate. And this is not this isn't like something that I've practiced. This is the actual truth. This is not some hippy dippy reframing self-love bullshit. Obesity actually is the best thing that ever happened to you. Like it actually is. And when you lose weight, as you're losing weight and keeping it off and changing who you are, you will start inspiring everyone around you. And you're going to figure out who actually gives a shit about you and who doesn't, because a lot of people are going to treat you worse. And a lot of people are going to try to hold you back. Your own family, your own friends might not be cool with the fact that you aren't going out to Golden Corral with them at lunch anymore, or that you're not going out to drink with them the way that you were before. And you become really clear on who actually wants what's best for you. And it's a natural human thing to want other people to kind of stay at the level that we're at. But once you start growing and working on yourself, you'll realize that you can pretty quickly outgrow the people that are around you. And that's not to say that they can't be in your life, but it is to say that if they're not contributing energetically, if their presence in your life is not contributing to you becoming the healthiest version of yourself, you have a choice to make. There's no right or wrong choice, but I promise you, because I spent my whole life hanging around people that were doing dumb shit because I was doing dumb shit, I promise you that there is nothing but regret tied up in this false sense of being loyal to people that don't actually care about you that much. And God, man, is that a life lesson that I've learned the hard way? Shit. The reality is that once you start putting it behind you, you're going to be walking different and talking different, and people are going to treat you different. Some people call this skinny privilege, right? So sometimes people will treat you worse as they might become insecure in themselves, as you mirror and reflect to them the parts of themselves that they aren't willing to address or haven't figured out. But especially people that you do not know will absolutely treat you better. And on the surface level, it's easy to say, well, they're going to treat me better because I am sexier and my legs are out in my sundress and I don't have my triple chin the way that I used to have it. But on a much deeper level than that, skinny privilege is not real. What's actually really happening is that you're radiating an energy of deservingness. So instead of, but when I was fat, in 2019 and my whole life before that, I would bitch about skinny privilege because I would say that every year I would lose 50 pounds and I was like, in hindsight, I was a little bit chubby. I was like 180 or 190, could not do one push-up at 6 foot tall. So it's not that I was fat. I was just like, you could push me over with your pinky finger, right? And people would treat me a lot better People were not treating me better because I looked better. That was a part of it, sure. But people were treating me better because I felt deserving of being treated better, right? So instead of getting to my diet on Thursday and then eating a pint of Ben& Jerry's and then feeling like shit about it and then not eating all day Friday until I got to late night and then overeating again at night and then saying, fuck it, Saturday, Sunday, and restarting on Monday, I became really clear that that pattern was actually blocking me of giving myself the love and respect that I was saying I deserved from other people. So I actually did not deserve that from other people because I did not even allow it from myself. And that's really, gosh, I mean, that's actually one of the biggest lessons for me and the biggest difference in my mindset of then versus now is before I was others don't treat me better. Now I'm myself. I treat myself with love and respect every time that I do something healthy. Every time that I do something that's in my own favor, it benefits me because other people treat me better because I feel better about when I look at myself in the mirror. And when I feel better about when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel better about looking at other people and standing straighter and speaking more from the depth of my soul in a way that commands more respect from other people. And I couldn't do those things when I was fat because when I was fat, I spent almost all of my time thinking about should I get a small fry or a large fry, and maybe the 4-piece nugget does fit inside of the calorie goal, but the 8 doesn't. So I'll just get the 4 because I don't want to cook. So that was the world that I was existing in, right? Dinner's not till 9. It's 4:30. I'm hungry. I can do 2 dinners tonight. It's like, I'm not treating myself with self-respect. How can I possibly expect to even be in the energy that people want to be around? You know, and the last piece of this is that when you really sit with, for everybody that's like skinny privilege, I don't think that skinny privilege is real. You know, there are fat people that move with the confident radiance that are not really that judged because of their obesity. Are there assholes that treat fat people like shit? Yeah, but there's also assholes that treat everyone like shit, and skinny people like shit, and anorexic people like shit. You know, if you think skinny privilege is real, go walk down the sidewalk in London, New York, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, or Austin, Texas, and look at a homeless person and tell me that skinny privilege is real. Now, everything that I just said about skinny privilege, is that all true, or is that just total bullshit? The actual answer is that it doesn't really matter because allowing yourself to believe it puts you back in the driver's seat of your own life. And when you're in the driver's seat, it gives you a sense of control over your life and food, which is what we come back to, and that's what we're here to practice and talk about to lose weight. When you are in the driver's seat, you're able to actually improve. You can't change anything about your life when you give your power away to other people, focusing on skinny privilege. You retain all of your power in saying that other people are a mirror to me. Doesn't mean people won't be assholes to me sometimes, but it means that as I treat myself better, other people will treat me better. And the reason why is because people want to be around people that want to be alive. People want to be around people that are passionate about life. People want to be around people that are, you want to be around people that are healthy. Like you, as a listener that might be fat right now, don't actually want to be sitting in a room of everybody eating pizza all the time. You want to be around healthy people that take care of themselves, not because they're more beautiful physically, though that is at play. We all know that, right? But because they're energetically better feeling to be around most of the time. That is a very, very that's a very all or nothing statement. That is not true in every single situation. There's always exceptions. I speak in absolutes. It's a strength and a weakness of mine, so take it for what it is, but really consider sitting with that and trying that on for size. The next one, when I was fat, I would say, I can't afford to eat healthy, and I can't afford to get a coach. Though I had coaches, I would still say that I couldn't afford it as a way to just get the cheaper ones. And what I actually found was that not having the money was not a problem. It was a symptom of a problem. Let me say that again. Me not having the money was not the problem. Me not having the money was a symptom of the problem. The problem being my relationship to myself, which is directly linked to my relationship with food and my mindset, right? So those are my 3 problems. And by addressing those problems, I lost a bunch of weight after not having shit for money in 2020. It was like right after I lost weight. And I went into a job interview. Before that, I was making $50,000 a year. Yeah, I was making $50,000 a year in 2019 and 2020. Quit that job because I was having panic attacks at work because I was so fat. And went to work for a different job making I think I was making 55 or 56K a year. I'm working like 40 hours a week, not a particularly, just kind of a normal job, but 56K a year plus my car payment, plus my student loans, plus all this shit. You know, I was a few years out of, I was 20, I don't know, maybe 26 or 27. And the reality was I just wasn't saving anything and didn't feel good about my financial future. So I ended up applying for a job that paid $105,000 a year. And I come into the interview, the guy sits down and says, yeah, so we've been interviewing people that are much more qualified, and we just want to be really honest. You're not that qualified for the job. Can you just tell us what is it about this job that you think why would you be a good fit? And I looked right at the guy and I went, yeah, I'm absolutely not. I might actually be the most disqualified person you've ever talked to for this job when it comes to the actual tasks required to do the job today. But I'm probably the most qualified person you'll speak to ever for this job when it comes to my ability to show up and my ability to learn. And the most recent time that I demonstrated this was this story when I lost weight 1 to 2 years ago. Here's exactly what I did. Here's where I was at. Here's what I did, and here's where I'm at now. So though I cannot do these tasks today without your help, if you give me the rubric, I am the kind of person that will show up every day and that will figure it out and that will figure it out sustainably in a way that feels very good to me and feels very good to you. So would I hire myself on that? I absolutely would, because you can teach anybody anything. The real question is, how long is a person going to stay and how quickly can they learn and how dependable are they? And I got that job, made $105,000 a year. At that same company, within 18 months, I was making $165,000 a year. And it's like, that I'm not saying, like, to a lot of you listening to this, that's not shit for money. But for me at the time, that was a lot of money because it was 3 to 4 times more than what I was making 1 to 2 years before that. And it's like, I could not have done that when I was fat. So the question again, is you not having the money an issue or a symptom of the issue? And if you were to address the issue, meaning that you felt better about your life, your weight, you weren't thinking about food. If you're spending 80% of your time thinking about food and weight loss, how the fuck are you going to make more money? Right? How the fuck are you going to even have the energy to go and figure out how to make more money to get another job that feels better to you? Everything you're looking for is in the journey of addressing the things that led to you using food like a drug and being fat in the first place. And this sternness that you're hearing me speak with, you're hearing me in and out of these kind of softer and more harsh tones on this episode. This is the polarity that I speak to myself with. A place of love, place of hardness, they're actually the exact same thing. And one of the best things that I've learned for myself through this whole journey is that I can hold both of those at the same time. And there's no hatred here. This is all from a place of love. I speak to myself in stern tonality because I don't really allow myself to lie to myself anymore. I don't allow myself to lie to myself anymore. And when I do, I catch myself and I go, God, you're full of shit. You're doing the same shit that you used to do. And then I make the correction. And that level of awareness, though I am absolutely not perfect at all in any way, is an ongoing lesson for me. But weight loss really was the thing that helped me hone that and that put me on the path of even having the clarity to be able to see these parts of myself. You know, it was everything for me. Next thing, fitness. That was a big one. When I was fat, I yeah, even after I lost weight, I still had a fucked up view on fitness for some time. When I was fat, I was really inactive and then really active for 3 months when I was losing weight, and then really inactive for 9 months, and then really active for 3 months and really inactive for 9 months. And during the 3 months of my onness, because I was so all or nothing, I would wake up, go for a walk, go to work, come home, go play basketball, and or go for a run, and or lift weights, and then go to bed. Basically 5 to 7 days a week. So it's just every day going for it, constantly sore, also drastically under eating, so never fully recovering or sleeping well. And I was working. You know, I'd have days where I'd eat 13, 14, 1,500 calories and burn 1,000 calories just through exercise alone, right? So I was very all or nothing. In some ways, I still am all or nothing with certain things. After I had lost weight, I was still afraid of gaining the weight back. And what I had done was my biggest regret is not taking weightlifting more seriously on my weight loss journey in 2019, on my last weight loss journey. I didn't really lift weights at all. I just walked obsessively. Even while I was losing weight for the last time, I walked all day. Any free moment, I was just walking. I want to hang out. Let's go walk. At work, can I take this on the call while I'm walking, right? And after I had lost weight, there was fear of gaining the weight back. And I decided I wanted to get into distance running as a reason to keep the weight off. So I started running from 2019, 2020, 2021, actually all the way through 2022. I ran, I don't even know, maybe 5 or 10 half marathons, 2 or 3 marathons, and a 50K. And this is the point where I was running 30 to 50 miles every week for years. And that eventually got brought to an end in 2020. 2 years ago when I had heart surgery. And that's when my life really changed, because I had to learn so much more about, this is 3 years ago now, 2022, because I realized that I still had an unhealthy relationship with exercise. So when I was fat, I over-cardioed. When I was losing weight, I over-cardioed. After I lost weight for the last time, I over-cardioed. Had to get heart surgery, which put an end to my dream of running 100-mile races, thinking that I was going to be the white David Goggins. And then started really doubling down on a relationship with food. This was about 3 to 3.5 years ago now, early 2022. And that is where I actually truly found sustainability. So though I have not been fat for 6 years, I feel I've been like truly, truly, truly sustainable since the beginning of 2022. And like, I actually put the obsessiveness in this realm behind me in beginning of 2022. And that is so here's now in 2025, here's what my routine looks like, given I'm working through a current injury. So it's a little different, but pre this injury a couple months ago, I walk every single morning, anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. I don't count steps. Don't have a step counter. I have no electronic watches. I don't know how many steps I do per day. I walk 5 to 30 minutes. After I eat lunch, I'll come home and eat breakfast. After I eat lunch, I will step outside and go for either a 5 to 20 minute walk. After dinner or before bed, I'll go for a 5 to 20 minute walk. So at the minimum, I'm going on 3 walks per day, and they're anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes every time. In addition to that, I just walk where I can. I'm constantly moving around throughout the day, and I'll do typically 100 push-ups or so first thing in the morning, 5 to 7 days a week, and then going to the gym 2 to 3 times per week, and then sometimes playing basketball. So a typical day, 3 short walks per day, sometimes 1 longer walk, 1 shorter walk. It's not hyper obsessive and scheduled all the time, right? 2 to 3 gym sessions per day. I'm doing a couple hundred push-ups, 50 or so chin-ups, 100, 200 body weight squats, just doing circuits like that. Nothing very heavy because I have some injuries that I'm working through. And I do push-ups every morning and stretch before bed. And that's it. It's like very sustainable. I feel really great. This is close to the leanest that I have been. I was really skinny after I lost weight. I wasn't lean. I was just skinny. It feels a little different. But this is the healthiest I've ever been in my life by far. And I'm not obsessed with health or fitness. I'm not trying to gain 27 pounds of muscle. I'm not trying to lose any fat at all. So fitness is just something that makes my life better instead of worse. And it's the same thing with food. It's actually getting to the point where food makes your life better instead of worse. That concept is so, it almost sounds too good to be true, but that's actually what healing looks like. It's like, I really invite you to connect with what would it actually look like to put obesity behind you for good? And the answer is, food is something that contributes to your life in a positive way that you feel good about. Fitness is something that contributes to your life in a positive way that you feel good about. And the way that you can figure that out is ask yourself, what do you care about? What are you passionate about in your life? If you don't know what you care about or know what you're passionate about, you better get clear on that if you want to keep the weight off. And how are food and fitness helping me contribute to this thing that I care about? If you're passionate about being a mother, connect your food to your ability to be a mother. The reason why food is so important to me is because I'm passionate about motherhood and grandmotherhood, or whatever it might be for you. When I eat like shit, I feel like shit. I can't show up the same way for my family because I'm tired. When I eat healthy, I feel healthy. I show up energetic and have better interactions and better memories for my children. So now you're linking a passion and a mission for your life to a reason to actually eat better. And over time, food will make your life better because you're seeing the connection between the positivity that you're feeling towards your passion or life mission. And no one talks about that. Again, the reason why no one talks about that is because most people don't actually do that work and see those connections. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. Again, I'm just speaking from the lens of what actually works in the long run to not be hyper obsessed. This is just for the people that are hyper obsessed. This isn't for the people that are like, I want to lose 17 pounds to fit into my dress or my suit for my wedding. It's like the hyper obsessed people that have got 50 pounds to lose, that have been losing it and gaining it your entire life. This is the lens of the thought patterns and the thought trains that I put myself through that work for me, that I also coach my clients through in a way that logically makes sense to help them rewire their fat brains, their relationships with food, and the things that led to them being fat in the first place, which actually is the only way to put it behind you. If you made it to the end of the podcast episode and you'd like to speak with me directly about how we can do that together, you can click the link below and I'd be happy to talk to you. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight. You absolutely have what it takes to keep the weight off forever. I hope you got some great bits from this that you can practice saying to yourself in the mirror to help you rewire your brain and to reframe obesity from this ultra negative, impossible thing and weight loss as this thing that only the gifted of us really have what it takes to do. It's like, oh my God, I'm the least gifted person ever. That is so irrelevant. And every single person, if you have what it takes to make it through this podcast episode and you're still listening, you absolutely have what it takes to lose weight and keep it off forever. Thanks for being here. If you like the show, please like or subscribe. It goes a long way in helping me get the message out. And I would love you forever for that. See y'all next week.